Hi guys, Brad Hawthorne. Well, the question has been asked a lot. How do I pick the right tuned up walleye rod? Because there's a lot of choices in the line. So I'm gonna kind of walk through each walleye rod in the line, okay? So I'm gonna start with the new rod for 2020, 2021. I know we haven't seen a new walleye rod from Tuned Up in a while, and it's called the Vulcan. And here it is. This is a glass rod, right? This rod was built kind of like the Commander, okay? So this rod, you can use it, you can see what I have tied on here. I have basically an 1/8 ounce jigging spoon on this rod. But what this rod will do very, very well, you team this rod up in 34, 36, 38 inches with an iFish Pro, you're really gonna be able to lean into those fish. Also, those dead stick applications where you're just hanging a minnow and a split shot on a rod holder and you see it tip, you can really, again, really lean into that rod. If you see that right there, and this guy here is only a 32. So this is my inside rod, my Vulcan inside rod. So take a look at these. We were testing these. We sent Scotty and Kyle, they went up to Winnipeg and had the rods in 36 and 38 and absolutely loved them for those big greenbacks up in Lake Winnipeg. Just bigger baits. This rod, don't be afraid just because it's glass to put quarter, half, even up to 1 ounce jigging bait on here, and you're gonna feel that. Like when I go like this, that resonates right into my wrists. If you're looking for an all-around walleye rod to add to your arsenal, take a look at the Tuned Up Custom Rods Vulcan. It's honestly, the action on it is a lot like the Commander. It's a little bit more moderate, so it's gonna cover a broad spectrum of applications, whether that be big heavy baits, whether that's gonna be medium-sized baits, whether that's on an iFish Pro. You guys are gonna absolutely love this rod. So that's the Vulcan, new this year. Now I'm gonna dive into my personal favorite rod from Tuned Up, and it's been around since the start, and it is the Precision Power. I started using this rod when they closed Mille Lacs down. I went up to Upper Red Lake for a few years and guided, and that's where I fell in love with this rod because it comes in, 30, 32 inch, doesn't go any longer than that, but it's a super, super fast action rod. Like when a fish hits this, you feel it all the way up in your neck. And it's just an awesome rod for jigging 16th, 1/8, and 1/4 ounce spoons. And that's basically what we were always using up on Upper Red. And for that matter, this is my favorite rod when I'm inside the Yeti or inside the Otter. So let that one kind of ring with you. If you're an inside fisherman, if you're always fishing in your portable, you're always fishing in your wheelhouse, take a solid look at the Precision Power. It's honestly, it's my favorite rod. I have about 12 of these for me and my customers, and every time I put one in someone's hands, they absolutely love it. Now with this rod, it is super fast. So when you're jigging, you'll be jigging and you talking to your buddy or whatever, and a fish hits this, like again, you will feel this all the way from your wrist all the way into your backbone because it just thumps this rod. Then again, my favorite setup with the Precision Power is 5 or 6 pound fluorocarbon, 5 or 6 pound mainline fluorocarbon, a little bit of swivel there, foot 18 inches above it. And that is honestly my go-to rod. Onto my outside rod, the Commander. I like this guy, and again, when you order these rods or go into your retailer and buy them, they're gonna have them with different handles on them. I like the Commander. I have a full handle on this rod. This is a 38 inch. The Commander is a super fast action rod that is for outside applications. And this rod, when you're talking sensitivity, again, you could be looking around talking to your buddies. When a fish even looks at this rod, you're gonna feel it because it's super, super, super fast. This one I fish 1/4 ounce spoons and up, all the way up to 1/2 ounce baits, sometimes 5/8 baits. But this rod, literally when you're jig wrap fishing, when you're bouncing around hole to hole, it's got the length to it, it's got the action to it that complements outside fishing. So, in a long rod, when you're standing up and you're keeping your tip of your rod right at the hole, this rod is absolutely dynamite. And with that longer length, basically when you set the hook, you come up and set the hook, you're right at your shoulder length when you do that, and then you can start reeling. So the Commander outside rod is my favorite rod. Some guys do get these cut down and use them as inside rods. I personally prefer the Power as an inside rod, but you be the choice. That's the beautiful part about Tuned Up is if you like something, they can make it for you. You know, these rods are all made one at a time by Minnesotans down in Coon Rapids. They always have and they always will be. So if you want this, you know, your thread color in a different color, if you want the blank shortened up an inch, if you want a different handle, you can order that rod that way. So now I'm going to dive into the Fusion. So the Fusion, I would not call this a walleye rod, okay? I consider this a panfish rod, but has fallen into favor with a lot of the Red Lake fishermen. And the reason is it literally has that nice moderate taper. You're fishing for 1 to, for the most part, 3.5 pound fish up there. So guys are using lighter spoons and they're liking that because it's got that little bit more moderate action on the backbone, and it has no problem reeling in those, you know, 1 to 3 pound fish. I don't personally use this rod on Mille Lacs for walleye just because I feel that it just, a 5 pound fish, a 4.5, even a 3.5, 4 pound fish is going to overpower that rod very, very well, or very, very quickly. And that's why I lean on my power again for those types of applications. All right, so on to the Precision, okay? The Precision has a little less backbone than the Power. This is still an awesome choice for walleye jigging. This rod leans into the backbone really, really nice. I'm putting about 5 pounds of pressure on this rod right now. So you can see how that parabolic curve there is right where it needs to be. And so this rod here, when your biggest question you get, Precision or Precision Power, okay? And that all comes down to where and what do you fish the most. I find myself being a Mille Lacs angler, we're using a lot of 1/4 ounce spoons and less. So that Power kind of bridges, it's an in between that. I can use a 3/8 with the Power, it's a little bit too much. But this guy right here, if you fish a lot of stamp metal spoons, up to 1/4 ounce gets a little much on here, but it does it still very, very well. I'd say this one is stamp metal spoons up to 1/4 ounce rattle spoons. This rod is absolutely dynamite. And you can get this one anywhere from 36, 38, I believe, all the way down to a 28 if you want. So if you fish a lot of stamp metal spoons, a lot of lighter spoons, a little bit lighter line for walleye, talking your 4 to 6 pound test, this rod is going to be absolutely dynamite. And it's got a super fast tip on it as well. So you can see kind of the way that Tuned Up has done their walleye line is there's a lot of fast action rods in there. And the reason that is because we all wanted it. The guys, the pro staff guys, I mean, all the guys on TV, they were like, hey, we want that fast action. So when a fish hits that, it resonates all the way up into your arm. And that is absolutely key with a good jigging rod. The other thing, all of our walleye rods outside of the Vulcan are solid blanks, okay? Solid blanks are more durable. They resonate. The fish bite back to you better. And again, when you imagine a solid steel rod, when something hits it, it resonates. That's exactly the same thing that a solid carbon fiber rod does. So when you guys are in the market for a walleye rod from Tuned Up and you kind of want to know, the run through of the whole rod line, watch this video again and again, and hopefully that'll help you guys make your decision on your next Tuned Up custom rod, walleye rod.